behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a great interview coming up shortly. But before we begin, if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button and the bell button, and you're always going to be notified of any new episodes we'll have for you. And leave a comment on the comment section. We'd love to hear from you there. And if you're paying attention to the description part of this interview, as well as the closing credits, we'll have contact info for you. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From London, England, we have the Open Flames with us today. A very awesome band, and I think you're really going to love them. And we're going to get to that interview in just a second, but first, here's another quick word from the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away. We'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show. Today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from London, England, we have DC Eastman and Evan Salt, and they're from the Open Flames, and we're glad to have you guys here today. Thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to talk with you. Yeah, it's been a long. We've been waiting for this for a long time, Paul. You're in demand.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, how did it begin for you guys as far as being artists? I mean, and how did you get together as far as forming the Open Flames? We'd love to hear your story on that.
Well, Evan's much more the artist than I am, so I'll let you take this one.
We've known each other. DC and I have known each other for since high school, and he actually got me into making music at the very first. So he reached out during the pandemic with some music, and I was sheltering in the woods at the time. So I started. And I was woodshedding with the drums for hours a day. So I started working on a song, got my partner Paige involved pretty quickly thereafter. And then it just kept building from that. He sent more songs. And then as soon as the world's kind of started opening back up, Paige and I got over to London, and we jumped in a studio with DC and Len, as bassist. He'd worked before.
Who's actually English, who actually has an English accent.
But based in DC, so Washington, DC. So we started putting an album out, kind of met periodically to get it together, and things went from like a very, occasional thing to being, it just got more and more exciting as the songs were coming together. And then we got the album finished up, and now we're looking forward to its release.
Now the world won't leave us alone. They just want more and more.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you guys always wanted to be artists, maybe when you were kids, or maybe you found much later. I mean, how did it begin as far as that goes?
Well, for me, when I was 3, I used to stand in front of the Johnny Cash show with a tennis racket and pretend I was Johnny Cash. So whether I wanted to be an artist or not, I wanted to be Johnny Cash. I would try and hold it just right the way he did. But yeah, Evan and I, we were up in the attic of our friend's house. We had a band, and I think that's where we both started. I could never play, but I write songs. Evan can play. And so can Paige.
I certainly couldn't at that time, though. Dave just kind of pointed at each of us in our group of friends and told us what instrument we were going to be playing, and then
it was much more democratic than that. I think we voted, didn't we? Like,
oh no,
all those in favor.
But then he also started getting us ready, like just kind of giving us an education in the music that we weren't already listening to, like The Who. Was a new one
the
for
Stones.
us.
Oh, The Who, that's right. So Evan and I tried. We never saw The Who though, Evan.
No.
We tried to see The Who. We used to live south of Canada, and so we tried to take my grandmother's car north of the border, but I just learned to drive, so I drove like 120 miles an hour. And then
Literally,
when I hit,
literally.
yeah. And so when I hit the brakes, the bottom of the car fell out, and so we never made it. Yeah.
We got safely towed back. We survived the incident, but the Who went on without us.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great band, and I know since you said you used to
Yeah.
Johnny Cash, I'm sure he was an influence on you as well.
Yeah.
Did you have any other influences besides the Who and Johnny Cash? Maybe there's a few others that come to mind.
From on my side, there's I mean, you know, you got your Bob Dylan and your Beatles and stuff that any self-respecting musician would have. But then the band that really broke through for me was Pavement. I really learned a lot from them, and that opened up the world. I was in Seattle in the 90s, so it was. I mean, I guess we were in Seattle in the 90s, so it was a real.
No, I wasn't, Evan. I was in Indiana. Let's,
So it was a real rich place to, you know, obviously any band you went to go see was interesting, and some of them were, you know, eventually gigantic. So
yeah, my parents moved me to Indiana in high school, and these guys would send me letters saying, "Oh my God, we just saw, what was it, like Nirvana opening for Soundgarden in a." They're
yeah.
writing me these letters, and I'm just sitting in my room in these cornfields. It just
Well, yeah, those are some great bands. You know, again, just a moment ago you mentioned Nirvana. I remember those guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can find all your music on a few, if not all, streaming media, right? Are you on social media and the official website? Tell everybody about that.
Oh, so our website is www.theopenflames.com. You can that's the easiest place to go if you can remember our name. Some people tell me it sounds like a barbecue joint, The Open Flames. But yeah, we're on Spotify. We just put out our second single called Eat Alone. And there's another song on there, our first single called Drop a Coin, which is quite trippy. So if you know, you're on some kind of meds, very good song for that. And we're aiming to put out the full album that we've been recording over time. As Evan said, we got together and then we'd get together every couple months. And so we called the album Same Time Next Year. So that hopefully we're going to put that out in 2025.
Okay, well, everybody go to those sites he mentioned, you know, the site and then the Spotify, I think you said, and get some of his stuff there. I know they would love you for that. And as he mentioned just a moment ago, Eat Alone, and that is the video we're going to play for you. There must be an interesting story behind this song. Why don't you give us some lowdown on that?
So, you know, actually, it's interesting because I wrote it about my dad, who had PTSD. He was a veteran. And no matter what you did for him, you know, he really resisted help. So the song is about, it's kind of a narrative between a caregiver and someone who's really trying not to be helped, you know, saying, "You're not eating enough, I'm not hungry." And the kind of the pain of wishing that you could do something for somebody and then they pass away, and, you know, kind of your last moments with them. So the video is taken from an English instructional video, how to extract patients from a burning hospital. So I re-edited it because my dad hated the hospital, just hated being there. And so it's kind of meant to reflect how much he just hated being, you know, he would argue with every nurse who tried to help him, just make him miserable. So that's what the video is about.
Okay, well, it is a great video. I've watched this a few times.
Thanks.
And
Thank you, man.
And I think you guys out there are going to love it too. And we're going to get to that in a second. But before we do, I think that's about all the time we have for right now, guys. But anytime you guys have something new you want to plug, come back on the show. We'd love to help you with that.
Oh, we're not going to leave you alone, Paul. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Well, here it is, Eat Alone by The Open Flames, and it begins right now.
You did not go too soon. Things got worse. There is no place for you here.